the 3D approach. I see these as basic principles that must be followed for developing conflict-sensitive technology for social impact. Firstly, dignity and non-discrimination. We must take an uncompromising attitude in recognizing that at the heart of whatever project that we're working on are human beings. A person who very, very likely knows much better than we do what they need to improve their lives. We must be very careful not to find ourselves imposing solutions that may seem brilliant from where we stand, but could be entirely unworkable or soul-destroying if you stand somewhere else. That means we must be inclusive in our problem solving. Very simply, the people whose lives we are seeking to improve must be part of the solution. We have to ask their opinion, and we must be respectful of their point of view. The women and girls whose lives you are seeking to impact with the projects you will be designing must not be chastised for their choices or required to curtail their lifestyles or dampen their dreams. Women who have suffered from gender-based violence are not victims. They are survivors. Women who are made vulnerable by the threat of gender-based violence are not to be pitied. They are to be empowered. We are not the problem, but we want to be part of the solution. There is a distinct difference in choosing to protect someone or in empowering them. Our challenge is to do both. Dignity and non-discrimination are core human rights principles that must guide all of our interactions and our actions. We must challenge ourselves always to see each other with as much respect and compassion as we wish ourselves to be seen by others. At the same time, we must create the opportunities for those who remain unseen to be given the safe spaces for them to have a voice and to have a say in issues that impact on their lives. Virtual spaces and digital connectivity are powerful tools in promoting non-discrimination. It is our role to make sure no one is left behind. The second D is do no harm. To do no harm is to avoid exposing people to additional risks through our actions. This can be harder than you think. I recall one community radio project that supported women right here in Trinidad that resulted in a spike in domestic violence. Do no harm means taking a step back from an intervention to look at the broader context and to mitigate potential negative effects on the social fabric, on the economy, on the environment, and most importantly, on the individuals involved. Communities are not homogeneous groups. Interventions sometimes favor one section of the community over other groups that may lose privileges or power. This lies at the root of the tension between social change and the do no harm principle. Improving the situation of some is sometimes ultimately done to the detriment of others. The success of a project with social transformation objectives can lead to negative effects like conflicts, discrimination, and even further violence, resulting from the reaction of other stakeholders. We have to find that sweet spot that is the best possible compromise to achieve the objective of social change while reducing obstacles and avoiding the risk of aggravating the situation. I know this seems like a tall task, but what I'm describing is a way of becoming more vigilant about future-proofing your ideas using a conflict prevention lens. And last, but certainly not of lesser importance, the D of being data-driven and data-driving. Facts are important. Facts are indispensable. Any social impact intervention must collect data to justify why you're doing what you're doing and to measure the change that you're trying to bring about. If you want to change the status quo, you need to be clear and sure about what is the status quo. Use facts to challenge assumptions, including your own. Being data-driven and data-driving may seem obvious, particularly now that technology provides vast opportunity to capture data, and artificial intelligence has amazing capacity to analyze data. But let us not forget the first D. Social impact interventions are about people. So data capture modes should pay attention to ensuring that all relevant voices are represented in the data collection, and that the information sought has value in helping to gauge positive social change. Unless the data input is as inclusive as possible and the data analysis as multi-perspective as possible, the decisions that we arrive at based on those facts will only reflect a limited perspective. It has been my experience that perspective is at the heart of all conflict. Assumptions about how people see themselves and how they believe they understand the situation, or why people do the things that they do, causes conflict. Violence often comes from a place of feeling disrespected or misunderstood. If we can broaden and challenge perspectives through thoughtful data collection and analysis, in order to provide thought-provoking facts, and if we take the time to future-proof our ideas with a conflict-sensitive lens, and if we remember to be uncompromising in being guided by dignity and non-discrimination in our actions, then we can shift the status quo positively and permanently. This Women Initiative Hackathon, supported, I notice, by equally committed male colleagues, is a brave and inspiring initiative. From where I stand, this event tells me the future is here, and I'm very grateful for it. We all are. Thank you.
All right, guys. I think you'd agree, like myself, that we're extremely privileged to have Elizabeth Solomon, Dr. Elizabeth Solomon, introduce the hackathon and provide such wise words moving forward. I think there's a lot of gold in her speech and a lot of gems that we can use in the hackathon. So without further ado, I would love to introduce you guys to someone who's amazing at organizing events, Sarah Bernard. And we'll let her take it from here and move on into the section of this hackathon where we're going to be breaking up into groups and finding teams if you have not a team already. Hey, Sarah.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm letting you all know I like cameras on. I'm a camera on kind of person. It really helps engagement. So if you can put your camera on, you know, let's make a connection, because actually that's what this section is about. We are here to mix and mingle. So unfortunately, we can't do it in person. So we are going to use some tools to help us connect, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to use the automated breakout rooms in Zoom, and I'm going to put 5 minutes on the clock, right? Just 5 minutes. And we're going to go into our different rooms. In that 5 minutes, you have to share something about yourself, about why you're here, etc. Right? So you'll get to meet different people. So we're forcing you to exchange some dialogue, right? Again, it's way better if cameras are on, right? The other thing is we're gonna help you, right? We're not just gonna, you know, so y'all are just there like, we're gonna give you some words, right? And so the first set of words, right? So this is the first one, right? So it's a test, right? So I'm gonna put those words up there. Let me see if I can make it as big as possible. So I'm gonna share my screen. Yeah. I hope I'm sharing the right screen. Are you all seeing that? Right now I'm feeling, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. So right now I'm feeling, and right now, like, so, well, super quick, right? So we're just trying to like get conversation going. So right now I'm feeling, I don't know, if you're feeling nervous, scared, and you just want to like run away. I don't know, whatever it is, right? Or right now I'm feeling ecstatic and I just want to start hacking, or whatever it is, right? So we're going to do that. So the breakout, the host, can you get us into the automated breakout rooms? Do we know how many people we have, and you can break us into, like, if there are 4 people per room, that'll work out. That'll be fine. Yeah, so by quick calculation, that's 5 rooms, I think.
Yep, just 1 second.
Sure, no problem. That'll give some people like Shirlan and Johan and Siobhan and Hassan, Melissa, time to like turn on your camera. Yeah, I call out names, guys. Right, so what it is right now I'm feeling, so get your word prepared. Right now I'm feeling. And then afterwards, don't worry, we'll get into the why we're here afterwards, right? We just want to get you all talking and do as if it's like a, speed getting to know one another. We're not speed dating, but we're speed getting to know one another, because you just might end up in the same team.
Sarah, I think the option is for you.
I just realized that, because I realized I could admit someone into the room. Sorry, guys.
No
Sorry.
problem. That's powerful.
Give me a second. I was supposed to do it all along. My bad. All right, so I think I'm gonna do 5. I think I said 5. Let's see if that happens, and we're gonna automatically go into rooms, right? Okay, good. Hi, guys. So let me see if, yeah. So is this room 5 or no? Because no, Mark, you were supposed to, is anybody supposed to be in a room and isn't? I'll move y'all in case you, no, I think. Okay, everybody's coming back now. How was it? How's it been going? You all got to meet some people?
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
Nice. Okay.
Sarah, I love you, but your energy is so fantastic. Like what?
Yeah, well, I'm glad you're saying something. It's really because of what's happening here. This hackathon, is, first of all, it started by young people, right, who just are adamant that they want to do something. Mark Pereira, when we had something earlier on this year, he was like, oh, he doesn't want just a virtual meeting. He wants to get something done. They were adamant that they wanted a solution, and now months later, here we are. So that's why I'm excited, because there are people in this country that are willing to change it and not just sit down and wait for the government or blame the government, right? So let's move on. Are you all ready to? So I'm gonna I think I have to press recreate. Yeah. So I'm gonna do 4 rooms this time because it didn't work out well with the 5, right? And this time I'm actually gonna put on the timer, which I didn't do. I kind of just estimated, right? So let's go again. Oh, I have to give you your second question, right? So this is what you're going to share. So during our time today, I would like to be able to share about, yeah. So what, it could be a skill that you have. It could be, and it says time today. That's the wrong thing. I'm sorry. It's really supposed to be during our time in the hackathon, right? What did you come here to share? Did you come to share an idea? Did you come to share your skill set? Did you just come to share your energy, right? Did you come to share your passion, whatever, right? So that's what we're doing. Remember that. And let's go. Let's get the breakout rooms again. Okay, bye guys. I forgot to put on the timer again, guys. So my bad. So let's put it at 4, yeah? All right. Hi, guys. So y'all are back. Yeah, now, the reason that I didn't come in a room isn't because I couldn't figure out how. You know what I mean? That's not why, right? So the fact that, so this time when I pressed it for y'all to come back, nobody came back. You know, y'all like waited for your time to expire, your 60 seconds. So I'm guessing that means that y'all y'all have loosened up a bit, y'all are sharing a bit more. So that's good. Now, down to business, right? We're here for a hackathon. We're here to, be heroes and solve the problem, right? Actually, sometimes a couple of years ago, when I just started my business, what I'd say is our theme for that year was don't be a hero. So in other words, just get exactly what needs to get done. You know what I mean? No frills, nothing. We just need to meet deadlines, right? But now I'm like, I don't know if I've watched Ragnarok too many times, but now I say, because that's what heroes do, right? Going all out. So that's the theme for today. That's what heroes do. So we're gonna go back into groups, right? And this time you're kind of feeling, I'm seeing Ken Delano. Not that I know you, but I'm seeing him smiling there. That means I'm getting one person. My husband thinks I'm not funny. I got one person to laugh at my jokes, so that's good. I call that a win, right? So this time we're gonna go in and talk about, what we're here for, the hackathon, right? So, okay, that Google Chrome not looking like the right thing. Just now, let me make sure I'm sharing the right page. Give me a sec, right? Okay, doesn't look like the right page. Okay, that should be it. That's the right page. You're seeing my hackathon idea is, you're seeing that? Somebody just give me a head nod so that I know that I'm sharing the right. Thank you. Right, so my hackathon idea is, and I've been working on it since, right? So some of you've been working on it since you saw the post saying WIP Hackathon, right? So like 2 days ago, or some of you have been working on it for over a year, or, since something really bad happened and you were like, nah, I'm going to do something about this, right? So let's really get into the why we're here, what your idea is. And if you don't have an idea, say that, you know what, I don't have an idea. I'm just here because I want things to change. And just right. And what you're doing as well is kind of figuring out as well, hey, you know what? I'm interested in the skill set this person has. I'd like that person to be on my team, or I'd like to be on that person's team. Right, guys? So let's do that. And if you're here with a team already, I want you to think about, because you might have an idea already, but you may want a fresh pair of eyes on it, because your idea again might be just based on your experience and the people the people you're interacting with, right? So you might want to get some new eyes on it. So here, let's go one last time. Be create, assign off. Now, Zoom is not very good at randomness, so you might meet some people again, right? There we go. Okay, once again, I forgot to put on the timer. Yeah, good stuff. But I think this time they'll talk more, so. There we go. Hi, Kellyanne. I'm gonna assign you to a room because we're like getting to know one another now. So I'm not sure if you can hear me, but just in case, I'm just gonna put you in the room with the least people. All right, hi guys. If you saw me, take off my camera, don't be scared. I was just telling my kids to move that Disney noise, further inside. All right, so tell me what happened? What did y'all get to know? So let's just go with the last groups that were there. Can someone from each group share with me, well, with everybody else, what you all learned? Tell me, here's what we're gonna do. You tell me something about one other person you met in any group that you've been in, and you'll also tell me, what benefit you think it was, like what did you learn most, not just about a person, but learn most about the whole experience. Yeah, guys? So anybody wants to go first? I have no problem calling on people, then you know that, right? And if I know you, like if your name is, I don't know, Javed Adam, if I know you, used to work with you, maybe I might call on you first. So you all can save, if you want to save Javed, you could put up your hand.
I think somebody should put up your hand.
I'm not seeing anyone. I'm not seeing. Okay, so Javed, thanks.
Well, I ended up in a group with 3 other women who are supporters and guests. So I'm not sure they're actually participating in in the hackathon, but it's quite interesting because I can't remember. I'm not sure if it was Dominique or one of the other women in there who's she does a lot of work with migrants, and she did have a point that a lot of it's very likely that a lot of crimes are being perpetrated on these vulnerable segments of the population, and they're not being reported because people are just afraid to. So you're in a situation where whatever we see on the surface may not necessarily, whatever pops up in the news, I mean, there's probably like a large undercurrent of other things going on there. So I think that's interesting. Hearing perspectives like that kind of expands the spectrum of what we probably need to be looking at.
Yeah, wow. Listen, that got real well fast. You know what I mean? Yeah. So anyone else want to share? Okay, I'm gonna call names. So I'm going, like Hollywood Squares, like who's like right underneath Javed is Sunal. And so Sunal.
Hi everyone. So something I learned so far is that this is definitely a complex topic, and it's obviously focusing on a sensitive issue and population segment. So it requires a multidimensional but also a empathetic view of whatever the solution is, and ultimately it has to be practical and simple and easy for any victim, no matter their circumstance, to access to truly work, I suppose. So that's something I learned. And I can't remember what was the second part of something we were supposed to say.
Somebody. So like tell me something about somebody you met today.
Oh, okay. Well, something I learned today about some people was with Joshua and his friend that they're already working on a practical solution, and they seem really passionate about it. So it's awesome to see people already thinking ahead.
Yeah, Joshua and Chris's solution, to add to what Sina was saying, is a really awesome approach, because it's a simple solution where you can simply maybe share your location to select a few friends when you're on the move. And added to that is that they wanted to approach Digicel or Be Mobile to allow, if you do have this application, allow free data when you are using this apps, because we do know that a lot of people in Trinidad don't have data plans. So it's a really good idea to make it accessible to everyone in Trinidad, or as much people as possible, by using the strength from other companies and the capabilities of other companies to leverage their capabilities and make it easier for other people. That was really cool.
Anybody else want to share? but a theme that I'm hearing is accessibility, you know, accessibility to everyone. It's so important, you know.
This is Tanya. I just want to say quickly good night because I have to run shortly. But obviously I'm not here to sort of share an idea, but I just really wanted to comment and congratulate Z Labs and all the participants and the participating partners, because the collaborative approach of this, I'm seeing Siobhan, Rochelle, and Dominique from Living Waters, and you know, it's just really wonderful to see how many people have come together to make this happen. Of course, Sherland from When We Unite, and you know, I think this is the way to go forward. That is fully collaborative, lots of people, different expertise at the table, and seeing something really progressive happening here in Trinidad. So thank you all.
Thank you, Anya, from everyone here at Z Labs as well.
But I'm not sure how much more time we have. Mark and Maria, can we get some more? Is that okay? Can we go ahead a little bit more? I think we have.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So anybody wants to say anything before I call, because I will call on you. Next I'm gonna, okay, great, Maria, because next I'm gonna call on people whose cameras are off, just then you know.
I'm actually just wanted to suggest something as we're all starting out here, and I've actually done quite a lot of hackathons, both as a mentor and as a developer. I want to start a document that's going to be called a research document. Just from the one or two rooms that we've been in, we've started collecting some information that we can share with each other. Some of the mentors, maybe we can all contribute to it. So we're going to build this doc out for you guys tonight. And I think it would be a great way, if you guys have things that you might want to share, let us actually build a solution that might work, guys. Yeah. And I think if we actually share information or resources or things that we know with each other, it can only strengthen everybody's ideas. So whoever wants to contribute to this doc, I just created a bit.ly for it, pasting it inside of the chat. I put it inside of the WhatsApp chat as well. I'm just calling it bit.ly research WIP. Yeah. Mentors, I'm asking you to contribute to this document, please, because the more that we give them is the better the ideas will be. Yeah. So thank you, everybody. This was very exciting.
Great. Thank you, Maria. So Maria is one of our mentors, by the way. So a few of you all will be working with her over the weekend, right? Or checking in with her, I should say. So what we're hearing is accessibility, you know, and collaboration, you know, so accessibility for all and collaboration, so important to kind of move away from competition. Yes, you know, I mean, yeah, it's fine if you want to win, you know what I mean? That's fine. But, you know, you can share what you learn along the way because it'll only build, right? Build your idea and make your idea better as well as that of your competitor, right? So as I said, I'm gonna call on people who, so I'm seeing, let me see, Melissa John, can you share on, you know, something that you've learned as well as about someone in particular? Oh, camera's on. Great.
Yeah, I just turned it back on. So something that I learned in one of the last group and the second to last group that I was in, I was with Ishmael and Kendall in particular, that came up was the cost effectiveness of the technology, whatever app or whatever it is that they're trying to develop, to make sure that it's not just a one and done, that that there's longevity to it. Not that, okay, the hackathon is done and the app, it dies down, but there's a way to sustain it. So the more cost effective it is, the better, you know, it can be sustained. And something that I learned, there's some really cool people and smart people in this group.
Great. Thank you so much, Melissa, for sharing. So, and you said, you know, to me, I heard you say two things, because at first I thought you said affordability, you know, in terms of, or you already said cost effectiveness. That's what so in my mind, I was thinking, you know, that it's affordable to the user. But as most things are nowadays, you know, they tend to be free to use, and you find another way to get it, you know, to make money off of it, because you do need money, right? to make it sustainable, right? So in terms of when you all are doing up your business plans, you need to find a way, how do we fund this thing? That is going to be really important. Yeah. And then, as Melissa said, sustainability, which is one of the, if you listen to Maria Elena's interview on TTT Live, you would have heard that sustainability is one of the factors that the judges will be looking for, by the way, right? So, and if you're not sure about what the judges will be looking for, if Maria Elena doesn't go over it today, it is on the WIP Hackathon website, right, guys? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so let's have one more person. Well, actually, you know what? We're gonna have two more people, at least two more people. Persons who have apps or solutions in development already. I think now is a really good time to share with the group, yeah? Or if you have an idea to share that you really like, hey, nah, I want to get this considered, right? Because next we are going to, after entertainment, we are going to do a matchmaking session, right? Because you're going to get into group study. So I know there's Joshua Alam and partner, so I don't, right? And there's Joel, I know he has his teammates as well. So Joshua, you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. So I'm Josh and this is Chris. Yeah, and we started working on our solution already, but there's like a lot of stuff that we could definitely like hear from you all and improve and like make sure we catch stuff before. But yeah, you want to tell them about what it is?
Sure. Not only do we want to like also get input and feedback and like collaborate with you all as well, but we also heard about Joel's solution and how he's actually going to be launching soon. And we thought that was super cool. And it'd be great to like also like work with you as well and see if like, you know, if we could kind of work together as well. If there's some parts of our solution that could, you know, go hand in hand, that would be like super cool. Definitely. So yeah. I think we like in each group, funny enough, we've talked about the solution like a couple of times and it's like, damn, all right, well, I guess we'll say it again if everybody, like if anybody didn't hear it. So essentially what we're working on is something similar to Apple's Find My ecosystem, where essentially you get to connect with a few close friends and maybe some family members, and essentially just kind of like check in on them and see where, you know, like where they are on a map kind of thing. Essentially you could see them like when they like move in. That's something we could detect and like see when they're traveling from one place to the next. Or you could like, there are different like settings. You could have it as like, you could always see this person or you could only see them while they're in a trip, just to kind of make sure that they get to their destination and get where they need to go. So yeah, that's what we'll be working on.
Yep. And it's cross-compatible between iPhone and iOS and Android. And the pitch is to kind of go to Be Mobile and Digicel. I think Mark spoke about this already, but go to Be Mobile and Digicel and see if we could get them to let people use this data for free. Because it's just like small amounts of location data and it's keeping people safe. So yeah.
Great, thank you. And I am like feeling the energy from you all. I can tell you all are like super excited, you know. That's why I like cameras on, because you can actually feel that, yeah, you all are just ready to get this thing going. And Joel, do you want to share, because not everybody knows what you're about?
Yeah, sure, no problem. First of all, I just hats off to everyone who came up with this hackathon. I think it's a brilliant idea. So my app is basically a commuter safety and security app. And what it does is it allows the commuter to verify the taxi driver even before they enter the vehicle by scanning a QR code. And also we want to implement NFC tags in the future, although we know that not all phones are NFC compatible at the moment. The app also has what you call commuter safety prompts, where they get a message at certain intervals to ensure that the commuter is safe throughout the journey. And then at the end of the journey, they again send a message to their emergency contact, and they will be able to know that, hey, that my loved one is safe. In the event that there's an emergency, the commuter can press a panic button, and again, it will send their current location to their emergency contact. We are about to approach the TTPS to see how we can collaborate, because we know they already have an app in place where there's an SOS, and I think VGCell gives them a free bandwidth already. So individuals who don't even have data can actually access the SOS. So we are looking into collaboration with that. And I also like the idea of Joshua and Adam. I think it's possible that we can collaborate. And yeah, that's basically it so far. And we are launching on May 14th for Android, and then a few weeks later for iOS. So yeah, that's me.
Nice. That's the first time I've ever heard anybody launch for Android first. Normally it's like, the Android people like waiting, and iOS just enjoying everything. So props to the cheap people. All right.
Just I want to add something in there, sir, if that's fine. Yeah, Joel, also like really props for the initiative and being an entrepreneur and making it happen. Like massive respect. And I also want people with their ideas to step up to the plate and just raise your hand and push it out there, because I know some people have ideas before the hackathon. So don't feel like coming in without an idea doesn't make you a valid I guess participant to be able to win one of the prizes, because what you're actually being based on this weekend is what your team produces over the weekend. So you will be showcasing what you've done over the weekend and what your specific hackathon team has produced from tonight, Friday, to midday Sunday. So we'll be judging based on the production of because everything within a team is how you coordinate, how you can band together, what your talents are. So don't feel like if you just have a half-baked idea that you still don't have potential to win this hackathon and take it home. Just want to add that in there.
Hi, I wanted to add something as well. Do we have time? It'll be brief.
Definitely, we don't have entertainment as well. That was my other point I forgot. We don't have entertainment coming, so we also have more collaborative time. Unfortunately, because of COVID, we can't have gatherings, and we missed out on our dance performance.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to say one thing, if that's okay. I'm here observing as a guest, of course, but one thing I'm really interested in hearing, and I'm not a part of the judging panel, but in a rubric in my mind, one of the things I'll be looking out for is how perpetrator incompatible some of these ideas are. And by that I mean, one thing that sometimes people don't take into consideration is that as much as the upstanding man has access to information and technology, so do perpetrators. They are very informed and they're very on it. So when you're building all these things, you also have to take into consideration that you have to build in things that are more in favor of the potential victim. And that is not particularly easy for a perpetrator to circumvent. So for me, in my mind, when I'm in my unofficial, using my unofficial rubric, as I observe over the weekend, I'm interested to see how people apply this to their models. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. I want to see if anyone will include this in their model, how perpetrator incompatible their ideas are, because because of how much information we have accessible to us on a daily basis, and this is for everyone. They are very hip to things, they're very on it, and they're very clever, and they're very crafty. So I'm really looking forward to see how this plays out. Yeah, so good stuff. Looking on. All the best to all the participants.
Thank you. And I'm sorry, I don't know if I missed it, but can you identify yourself? Because I'm not sure if it was a judge. Sorry, my bad.
Oh yeah, I'm the Casper in the group. Sorry. This is Tamika. I'm from When We Unite. I'm on the When We Unite committee, and I'm just looking on tonight. Sorry about that. Yeah.
Great. But I mean, I hope everybody knows that there's a When We Unite summit that's upcoming, right? And if you don't know, that is the prize actually. Well, the first place team would actually get a spot at the When We Unite summit. Yeah, so they're looking on to see who's going to come to their summit, right? Great. On May the 19th. Anybody else has an idea they'd like to share, or any comments? An idea or comments?
Yes, I have an idea I'd like to share. So, you guys may be familiar with like different parts of the world. They would have taxis, would have like a cab hat at the top of it. One of my colleagues that I know in Venezuela, at a point they also had a spike in gender-based violence through their transport system, and she was saying that how, in her opinion, when they started to implement those taxi tags, just being able to simply identify a taxi from afar, like significantly decreased people just jumping into random cars, assuming it's a taxi, which happens here. So I could see that like tag being like maybe some sort of correlation to like, you know, tagging, like, you know, Joel's tagging app, or even like a marketing tactic, you know, working with whoever, whatever taxis want to be like marketed as a safe taxi or whatever, so they attract more people, and you market your app or something like that. You know, offer like these taxi tags onto the car, so it kind of identifies taxis more often for passengers to quickly jump in. So that's a solution, or like a simple solution to, you know, add into whatever ideas coming up.
Thank you, Sunil.
That's a really good solution. You know, I love these non-technical solutions that, you know, you can just, it could be combined with Joel's app. Like maybe you could put a QR code on the actual taxi stamp. I love these solutions where it's just like, yeah, it's just a physical device you have to put on your car. And that can be in itself a really sustainable business. That's awesome.
Yeah. This is Javed here, guys. So, you know, shortly after, you know, the last incident in January, I think quite a few people had probably started going down the road of developing technical solutions for to try to address the problem. A friend and I had started putting something together, at least conceptually, and again, it was along the same lines of an app, crowdsourced journey management, basically. And you know, in the space of we started getting the research together, doing the sort of secondary research and seeing what the market size would have been like, and starting to, you know, tease that out and see like, you know, who our end users were going to be. You know, and we got to the point of, you know, starting to flesh out the primary market survey questions and so on. And in space, you know, I think, and then we saw Joel's app launch. That's the, you know, with the Taxi Driver Association. And shortly after that, I think there's about four other similar technical solutions out there. I mean, the one thing I think, you know, with the QR codes, this kind of comes back to, I think part of the problem in Trinidad right now is the nature of the transportation system itself, right? I mean, PH taxis aren't going away, and to be honest, it can't go away, right? It's just by those things evolved there as out of real necessity for people living in rural communities and so on. And you know, the thing is, I think the apps with the QR codes, they're great, but we probably need to think about how to get those more informal forms of transportation pulled into that entire ecosystem, because I think it's a necessary evil, one, and then two, by virtue of the anonymity of some of the people, some of the drivers inside of that space, I think that's where we have these problems happening, you know. And you're already looking at, you know, I mean, I grew up in central Trinidad, and part of my normal commute would have been PH and very informal taxis from my home to a main hub, at which point you then get into like, you know, like a main route, like from Chagonas to Curep or wherever you had to go. But on that last leg of the journey, that's where some of these problems are. I know we didn't have the data to support it. We just didn't have the time to get into where the crimes are being committed and what percentage of, you know, what percentage of the actual acts of violence and so on are happening with PH drivers. But this was the you know, so this was the data we were trying to tease out. So I think everybody's looking at different avenues, and I think this is a really great great initiative. I think this is pretty fantastic that we can all kind of get together here and see what we can develop.
Just to add, Javid, with regards to the page, and regards to the tax association, you can't have one app doing both because both of them are at war. So I came to terms with that quickly. So
Right.
I mean, I decided to choose a legal entity, and when you really take in what's going on with the taxi drivers and the PH drivers, it's really taxi drivers are being penalized for obeying the law. Basically, they
Yeah.
have high insurance rates. There's problems to get a loan in the bank, and then the PH taxi drivers now. And for instance, with COVID-19, taxi drivers had operated at 75 and 50%. PH are operating at 100%. Right?
Right.
They're coming into taxi drivers can access certain areas. PH taxis are going into those areas and taking up the passengers before even reaching the taxi stand. So to have a collaboration with that, and one of the I have spoken to, I'm telling you, I've spoken to thousands of taxi drivers because I've been on the streets from since December. I've been on the streets talking to taxi drivers, and the first question, are you going to incorporate PH into this? And I was like, my first answer was yes, and then I got shut down. And then I quickly learned, hey, like if we have to have something that is successful, you have to choose one. And I decided to choose the H. And then what I've decided to do as well is to encourage the PH drivers to come on board by showing them how easy it is to become a taxi driver, because it really is easy to become a taxi driver. You know, we did a campaign on it. And the three major things is you need to have a character certificate of good character, $320, 2 years driving experience, and that's it. And a day up in town, and that's it. So if you really take a look at it and you analyze it, there is really no excuse to be a PH. You can easily become an H. So I mean, yes, I understand it's a necessary evil, but it's an evil that is caused because we encourage it. And my point of view is not to encourage it and try to start doing it from the right area. Now the government, from my understanding, is going to do that. But the only thing I can do right now is do the right thing and stick with the side that is legal. And yeah, that's my contribution there.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is really good, a good forum to kind of try to flesh these things out, because I hear what you're saying.
One of the things I want to add to that, not that anybody was listening to me, but I don't know if you remember, I said one of my strategies one year was don't be a hero. So Joelle's approach, I think, is like, don't be a hero, right? In other words, like, I can save the whole world, but sometimes saving the whole world requires you to break through bureaucracy, which, how are we going to do that right now? But I know I could save this part of the world, right? You know what I mean? I can do this part, get that implemented, and then we'll see about the next step later on. Once let's say this is established, you get credibility, there's adoption, that kind of thing. And then, that don't be a hero thing is really about sometimes, right? And not everybody would agree with that, right? But whereas some people might see it as, oh, you're alienating PH drivers, in Joel's case, it's not so much as he's trying to alienate PH drivers. He's just trying to get something done with a subset of the community and have a solution that works for some people, right? And that's what that does. And sometimes that's a way to go as well, right? Not everybody agrees, but yeah.
Just to add, before I don't want to take up too much time, but we understand that the taxi drivers the PH taxi drivers fill a void, but we have a solution for that, and that solution is basically through data analysis. And when we have the app and as many hands as possible now, then we will have the areas where there's highly saturated commuters, and we have the areas that are not saturated with commuters, highly saturated with commuters, but don't have enough taxis. And I've been on the taxi stand to know enough that sometimes the taxi drivers have a line system where they sit down there for hours doing nothing. Why do you sit down there doing any hours doing nothing when there are passengers to pick up? So it's just more than it's the safety, the commuter safety part is just one part of it, but it's so much facets of it But we have a solution for that. I can assure you that we plan to implement as well.
Wow, love it. Mark, I'm just wondering now if I should hand over hosting back to you.
Yeah. Yep, definitely. I will take it from here, but I also don't want, thank you, Sarah. Definitely added a lot of value there, and having you a part of this is great. I don't want to take time away from other ideas to get out there. I oftentimes feel like, sometimes you just need to let a little bit more time for ideas to come in. So guys, if you have your ideas, raise your hand, and we'll call upon you. We want to give time for, I guess, like 2 or 3 ideas, and close off the event with the other information like the prizes and introducing you to the panels and judges, and then the matchmaker session as well.
I saw Dominic put something in the chat. I don't know if she wants to, or he, I don't know if Dominique or Dominic.
Hello, I'm a girl. It's Dominique. Yeah, no, I was just pointing out that we often think about transportation as vehicular, and something else to consider is walking, and that is a big part of our transportation system. Ensuring that, just walking into your car, or walking to the page taxi, walking to maxi taxi, and in that, there's a lot of risk, especially women alone, especially if you're in more rural areas. So I was also just keeping that in mind when we come up with these solutions. How do we also make sure we could keep those women safe, or women in those, well, not even just women, like survivors in those circumstances.
Great.
It's a really excellent point. Thank you.
And let me tell you, it's so, when people, it's weird, right? I mean, conversation, because when you wrote that in the chat, honestly, how I just browsed it, I didn't understand, like verbalizing your point, with the indentation and so on makes a big difference. So, wow, great point. Thanks so much for sharing and speaking up. Anybody else wants to say anything?
Yeah, so just really quickly, Siobhan here. I think what I took from what Joel was saying was how important it is to kind of know the sector that we're developing for. So, for example, I'm not saying that it's impossible for somebody who has not, had to take public transport for many years to come up with a solution. But if that is, the case, then you definitely need to do some research on the ground and understand what's happening there, and what people are thinking and what they are feeling. And so it's not like a top-down solution.
That's a really good point. And in terms of the hackers in this hackathon, I know you all have to do your lean canvas and stuff. You have to build a business in this short space of time, right? In a weekend. And I'm just wondering, how are you going to do your market research? You're going to be WhatsApping friends or calling, I don't know, so you might have to think about that during the time. And what I love, it's so great when people come together, because what I heard was about the migrant community, you know what I mean? So, things that when you're building your solution, who is your solution for? Is it just for a certain sector of the traveling public, which again, it could be, and that's fine. But of course, it's always ideal if it kind of encompass everyone, as Dr. Elizabeth Solomon mentioned earlier.
I just wanted to say something, just because, I've been traveling. I'm a city person. I travel. I've lived in some of the most dangerous cities. I've lived in Baltimore. I lived in New York. I lived in San Diego. San Diego's not that dangerous, but it has dangerous parts, right? I think that one of the things that I think technology sometimes addresses a situation like violence, I kept asking myself, because I do find myself in dangerous situations, how do any of these solutions help a woman who's actually being attacked? Like, how, this is just a thought, this is a question. A person who's in the middle of a violent attack, a person who's in the middle of a violent assault, how does a technology solution help them, and what are the assumptions that are going into the usability of the app. I really love Sunel's idea with the taxi tops because it doesn't involve a lot of activity from the user. You know what I mean? I do think that we have to take into consideration the extraordinary violence that these women are experiencing, that women are exposed to. It can go from 0 to 300 in the blink of an eye. A woman can be grabbed, a woman can be thrown, a woman can be pulled into a car. So, and I love the fact that Dominique brought up the fact that a lot of this happens during pedestrian behavior. It doesn't all happen inside of the taxi. So please do take that into consideration as well, the actual violence of the situation, and if there can be alerts or noise alerts or something that might, and who knows, that might actually make it more dangerous if the person thinks that the woman has alerted a whole group of people to his existence or his or her existence. So just wanted to think about that, is that there's real violence taking place here. We have a lot of non-violent, non-aggressive, very strong technological solutions, but how do they play out in a real situation? That was just my thought.
Definitely, Maria. And yeah, we are definitely focused on preventative measures and that's the theme. And reactive situations do happen. And it's an interesting thing to think of when you're designing the extreme things that could happen. So sticking with the preventative measures, definitely that's the theme of the hackathon, but it can be a benefit if someone can make out a call or some distress message. So I do invite people to raise a hand. So there's the reactions tab at the bottom of the Zoom app. Raise your hand if you do have an idea. The floor is open.
Well, from me, still not a fully built out idea or anything, but I'm just thinking, on the topic of looking at different perspectives of the different situations that can occur, for gender-based violence in transport is, thinking about a practical, simple, hopefully simple solution. I would want us to look at the perspective of, walking through what does an average interaction, like public transport interaction, go for a woman. So say for me, for example, I'm thinking, okay, when I'm about to travel, I have to go to somewhere more populated. Usually I have to go by like some sort of main road or main street. And then, there you would wait and you'd try to, try to figure out what car is a taxi, and then from there you would look, I would look at the driver, try to discern if this person is, safety looking, if he has any safety features, any taxi badges or anything in his car, like little identifiers, if there's any cues of that it is a safe taxi or whatever, and then, what if in a different situation where you jump in and you're not safe, how do you get out of that situation? Or what have victims usually do? What do they usually do to get out of situations like that? So I'm just thinking, like, whatever solution we create, kind of thinking the step-by-step process of, in reality, how do these violent situations occur, and what could be preventative measures and reactive measures that can be taken place, that can be looked at when we're creating solutions. So that's what is in my headspace.
Awesome ideas. Another hand up, ELPF.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that, unfortunately, no one area of expertise will have all of the solutions. There will always be outliers. There will always be anomalies. There are limitations to every approach that people may try to implement to combat some sort of social ill. There's only so much that can be done as far as technology is concerned, and especially depends on the stage of any situation, whether it's before something has happened, while something has happened, or after something has happened. And this is why GBV, just like a lot of other social problems, is an issue that requires a multidisciplinary approach to it, because no one area can address all of the things that come along. For instance, with the potential dangers that come with taking public transport. So in coming up with ideas, you know, I think that the participants should also, and I think they know that that there's only so much that, you know, that they can, only so far the technology can take them in terms of what part of the event they're trying to attend to, whether it's prior, whether it's during, or whether it's after. So all of these things have to be taken into consideration. Yeah, I'm not hearing you, Mark.
Hey, no, sorry, I had to join in a discussion. Admin stuff. Yeah. I hope everyone else did hear that idea. And I'll jump on to Sarah. You raise your hand. I see that Hassan has.
Let Hassan go first, and then I'll. Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay. Hi. Listening to everyone's various topics, discussions, and ideas. There's a little bit of pattern showing here, but for now, like for instance, when Tamika, ELPF, sorry. Tamika, I know you asked about the, sorry?
Yeah, sorry, Tamika, ELP. Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Tamika.
No, but like when she asked about the perpetrator incompatibility, yes, KYC will fix that. And I'm sure that whoever's working on their various models will implement it to help vet those coming on board to whatever solution they want to push.
Right.
When it comes to taxis, I know Sanel, I'm not sure if I pronounced your name right. Yes, you're right, because in Venezuela and whatnot, they use markers in the US, Europe, everywhere they use markers, top vehicles help differentiate them from others. But the other good thing about that too is the psychology of visibility. Most of those that have nefarious purposes do not like visibility or anything that makes them stand out. So that's definitely something everyone should look at. That's more of the hardware side of things. PH taxis and taxis, yes, that is that's a very difficult dynamic given PH were born of necessity, unfortunately, which they're needed. And then the taxis are maintained and they have their standards made. So yes, there is a bit of a conflict there, obviously. So it comes down to incentives. How do you move one to another? How do you move PH onto actual formal taxi? So you gotta look into that too. I'm not sure how to look at that personally, but that is definitely a conflict right there. When it comes down to the research, how women and men, but primarily this is primarily for women, when you go to a taxi stand, when you go down to wait for a bus or maxi, anything like that, what is your environment like? So do a survey on the ground to find out what women feel, what they see, what they interpret around them. Because at the end of the day, how they feel would also drive how you should market your idea based on that also. When it comes to taxis, I think the taxi back windows should not be tinted. Only the front can be tinted, but not back glass. So when people look into the vehicle, as one mentioned, I can't remember who it was, maybe Sunil. Yes, Sunil mentioned it, how you can look into a taxi to see what kind of safety features they have. They should make a regulation where taxis don't have tinted back glass. And that will allow you to easily peer in from a distance without engaging directly. And situational awareness becomes a key factor too for women and men, anybody. But yeah, a lot of the ideas out there are great. They just is multi-layered, as everyone said, everyone agrees on that. It's a multi-layered issue. And there may not be any one turnkey solution, but I do believe partnering with the government to get that incentive pushed through, because you're going to need teeth. You can have a bark, you can have a well-designed app, SOS feature, but if you don't have the teeth behind it, perpetrators can manipulate it to their advantage, unfortunately. So I think whoever has the idea, their model, their business plan, should look at incorporating with the government or the TTBS app to try and build a robust, sustainable solution that can't be broken by just one part. That's my little bit. As a guest, I'm just looking in, trying to offer if I can. from a project manager's point of view.
Thanks a lot, Hassan.
Yeah. What I wanted, thank you, Hassan. And it's so interesting because as you said that, you know, because I realized you were going systematically and I was like, oh, wow, because that's what I wanted to share as well. But from a process engineering point of view, so Javid, and I think there was somebody in here who said they're electrical engineer, somebody said that. So like, you know, in process engineering, and that happens a lot in Trinidad and Tobago, right? If you think of Point Lisas or, you know, Point Fortin, process design has layers of protection because, you know, Maria mentioned, you know, if an attack happens, and then Mark said, well, we want to look at preventative measures. And just inside of preventative measures alone, there are different layers that you can have, right? And so in process engineering, and the reason why I just want to stay with process engineering and then like convert it to what we're doing. Best practice is that your design is inherently safe, right? So you design the system such that if you're going to operate the vessel at 50 bar, then you make sure and design the vessel, you know, to withstand the pressure way more than 50 bar, right? But instead, you know, if it's not inherently safe, what you would do is put a PSV there, put a PSV so that if it overpressures, or to prevent it from overpressuring, you'd set it at let's say 55 bar or something, right? Or, you know, so you set it just a little bit above whatever the normal operating pressure is, so that it doesn't get to, let's say you designed it for 80, it wouldn't get to or let's say you designed it for 60, you know, it wouldn't get to 80, something like that, right? So you would put in a PSV there, right? So, and PSVs are considered to be a very, very strong mitigating measure, right? The other things that you have, but it's still mitigating, right? It only enacts when it overpressures, but they do call it preventative. They consider it preventative simply because it's not going to overpressure with a PSV, right? And then you have control measures. So you have things that are like, you know, alarms, or first your control system, right? Right, like a level gauge, or well, not a level gauge, a control valve, I should say. And then there's actually, you know, an alarm that would go off if you've gone, you know, your level has gone high. So all that to say, there are things that are, you can design it inherently safe. And I heard Sunil talking just now, and she actually, you know, put the picture in her head. She painted a picture for us, you know, when, you know, you're walking to the taxi, you know, how is that system safe, and how can tech make it inherently safe such that nobody will do anything, right? And you don't have to. So if I actually have to press a button, so then I am now part of that control system, right? So I need to press a button for it to work. So there's a likelihood that I wouldn't get to my phone in time, that my phone don't have any battery, right? That's typical me, right? Or, you know, so something like that, right? So with control measures and alarms, those kind of things, there is a likelihood that it can fail. So you want as much as possible for it to be inherently safe. I mean, that'll be, you know, I mean, of course, that's really difficult. But in Sunel's, what I thought about was like cameras, you know? So if you know, like in China, right? You know, well, is it, somebody help me? It's a certain province, somebody help. Anyways, but I don't want to embarrass myself in front of it. Anyway, so there's a certain province where, you know, cameras are everywhere. So it's a big deterrent. Nobody's going to do anything because you're going to be filmed doing it, right? So again, as Hassan said, well, you'd need government for that. You'd need real money for that. So, you know, I would then say, let's not be a hero. That's not going to happen right now. What can we do in the meantime? So that, you know, so you kind of like start as safe as possible. That's just in my head. And then if not, then we go to a control measure. Can the control measure be automated such that nobody has to press anything, right? Because then, or nobody has to scan anything, you know? I mean, but again, then if you can't do that, then you go down to that level. You know what I mean? So you start with inherent and then go into, to automated, then manual. Yeah. And so I just wanted to put that process design into your heads. So when you're thinking about it, same way Hassan said, from a project management point of view, if you got an engineer on your team, they may be thinking in that sort of way. Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's it. It's self-aware, situational awareness is important.
Yes.
But yeah, and education. Whoever designs a model, they should implement something to help spread information in terms of giving the general public this access to material about safety, about watching your back, but not in a paranoid way, just your own self-preservation, how you think, how you go about day, look both ways before you cross the road, look behind a vehicle, look at it carefully. Information sharing is important, collaboration is important. Never have an idea in one microsect, because of course it becomes very narrow and easy to break. Spread it out. So one part fails, you see how the rest of it going. A PSV is a good example of it. Yes, you have a fail-safe put in place. In terms of technology, that usually comes down to how you're making and coding it. But yeah, so.
Alrighty, guys. So thanks everyone for stepping up and offering their ideas. I know it takes a lot of courage to kind of be out there and express yourself and express your ideas. Is a very vulnerable state for us. But I mean, the ideas that we're hearing are awesome. And I do encourage people to go into the WhatsApp group after we wrap up, and maybe shoot out some more ideas. And also for those who do have ideas, create a WhatsApp group, and then in your settings of the group, create an invite link and drop the invite link in the WhatsApp group. That makes it easy for people to join your idea. Add a description as well in the group for the idea, so that people will go in and read your description. And it also makes it easy for the mentors to come in and check in on Saturday and Sunday to see how the teams are going, to have little powwows and just chit chats to see how things are progressing. So the exciting part about the hackathon, I'm going to share my screen just now. Just 1 second. Alrighty. Yes, so another great thing about this hackathon is the great minds that are coming together. And I just want to introduce you guys to our judges. So we have Dr. Elizabeth Solomon, who you've heard from already, Kizzy Ruiz, who's communications manager at the Ministry of Works and Transport, Kyle Maloney, who is the co-founder of Tech Beach and also the co-founder of another successful startup, Chef Made, and Maria Daniel, who is the head of partner strategies and transactions at EY. Myself, Mark Ferrer, the co-founder of Z Labs and CultureX, which is an NFT platform. So these are the people who will be judging our ideas, and which you will hear from Amanda, our guest speaker. Get to know us so that we can understand your solutions more, because we will be the people judging your applications under these criteria. So the criteria of your applications will, for us, fall under these judging categories. Technicality. So we're looking at how complex the problem is that you address, or how complex is the approach to solving it. If it's comprehensive, do you have a lot of experience in it? Also, how creative and unique it is. So is there a lot of thought process put into it? Is it something we've never really heard about? Which also goes into the wow factor, which we'll get to. Impactfulness. So just based on the judges, how much of a difference do we think this project will make in our current society today? Is it tackling a new or unsolved problem? or is it creating a unique and creative solution to an existing problem? Like, you know, are you taking old ideas and revamping them and, you know, like maybe making them into something new and refreshed and utilizing, you know, the path of least resistance? And is it with the theme of the hackathon? How does it directly impact this issue that we're facing, gender-based violence within the transportation system? And we're also looking at sustainability. So is it a practical solution? Is it going to be easy to keep this initiative going? Or is this just, you know, a one and done solution that's going to last the event? And is it, you know, going to fade off after? So we're really looking at aiding in the sustainability of this idea, which we'll get to in the prize section of the hackathon. And of course, the wow factor. So just, you know, the catch-all, what'll make the judges really raise their eyebrows and, you know, get us excited about a solution. And the weightings of these categories, the technicality, impactfulness, and sustainability are going to be weighted 30% for each category, but the wow factor will be the extra 10%. So this event is in partnership with When We Unite. So just going back to the topic of sustainability, we want to see these ideas come to life. We want to see them thrive. We want to make a difference. This is about us standing for change. So in order to make it happen, we're partnering with When We Unite, which is a virtual women's summit that's happening on May the 19th. And the winning idea is going to present at this summit. And this summit is really cool because Uber is also associated with this. So there can be really cool connections and networking that can take place. Also dropping a lot of bombs that you'll hear in our talks from Amanda and Amika that'll be issued in this in the coming days tomorrow. All right, so here's the juicy part. The prizes for the hackathon. So we have been incredibly lucky to get support from EY, Stag, you know, they have the kind of masculine branding, but they want to, you know, change it up a bit and say, real men don't do these things. They don't abuse their wives. They don't harm women. Like that's kind of, when you see Stag on our sponsorship, that's the message that they're trying to portray. And EY and Stag, as well as Z Labs, have donated substantial amount of money so that we can have these really attractive prizes. So the first place being 10,000 TT dollars in funding and a space at the Z Labs co-working office to develop out your idea, and a pitch at the summit. So this space at Z Labs is a desk space that will be offered to you during on a day-to-day basis. We can work out the schedule that works with you, but you will be around other software developers and designers and entrepreneurs also trying to make Trinidad a better place. So we're just trying to harbor this ecosystem around the idea to make it happen, as well as fund it, and as well give us another outlet to pitch at this When We Unite Summit. Second place will receive 4,000 TT dollars in funding, and third place will receive 2,000 Trinidadian dollars in funding. So I'm going to hand it over now to Marilena Navarro. She is our event coordinator, and she'll introduce you. Sorry. Any questions on that, though, before I do hand it over to Marilena? No. Cool. I'll switch it over.
Hey guys, it's so great hearing all the ideas, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how they all develop over the course of the weekend. So I really want to encourage you all to join the WhatsApp group, because this is where you'll be able to reach out to everyone who's been on the call tonight. because forming a team is really going to be up to you, right? So tomorrow, to make this whole virtual experience a little bit more engaging, we're offering incentives when you accomplish certain things as a team. So tomorrow I'll be sending out an email in the morning with the schedule and links to the various tech talks and mentor sessions. So the first thing that you'll be needing to do in the morning around 9 a.m. is register your team, all right? Now, when you register your team, you're gonna win some t-shirts branded with the WIP Hackathon for your entire team, all right? And y'all could come and collect them from tomorrow. It's completely up to you. If you wanna wear them while y'all are hacking, that's cool. If you're taking any photos or anything while you're participating in this hackathon, we encourage you to use the hashtag WIP Hackathon so that we can keep track of all of the social media interactions and engagements, and tag Z Labs, Z_Labs. So that would be the first thing, starting us off tomorrow. And then you're kind of going to be hacking your way until 11 a.m. where we have a tech talk from Emeka Farrier, right? So Emeka launched Travi, which is a ride sharing app in Trinidad. And he's going to be talking to us from the angle of sharing just his experience launching in this space and some of the challenges that he's faced, and just advice to y'all, since this is now your experience designing and launching something in this space, right? So attending that, you will win a good chunk off of a Sched voucher where you will be able to get access to developing your own website, owning your own domain, have appointment booking. So a lot of fun stuff there that you'll be able to tap into when, I'm saying when your idea becomes something solid after this hackathon, because that's ideally what we want to see happen. And then as the day continues, you'll have mentor sessions throughout the day, and you'll have incentives to join these sessions with your mentor. So each group, once your teams are formed, you all will be assigned a mentor. And when you check in with your mentor, it's really just brief, and you will have different goals to accomplish when you check in with them. So the first check-in, you'll have to submit your lean canvas sheet, which we will send with you all tomorrow when you register your team. And then you'll get a great voucher for memory lines by Plantain. It's hyperlinked in the email that I'll send out tomorrow, so you can read more about that. And then later on in the day, we have a tech talk from Mark. He's going to be teaching you wireframing skills for UI, UX. And then another mentor session. And it just kind of continues like that throughout the day. Then we'll have a third tech talk, which is going to be how to make your pitch by Amanda Jardine. She's really going to help you planning out your pitch for Sunday, right? And then lastly, one more mentor session just to make sure that everything is all up and ready to go. And then lastly, you'll close off Saturday by booking your pitch slots. And then moving into Sunday, we actually stop hacking at 12. So everybody will need to submit their pitch decks by 12 for judging to begin at 1. But I'm going to send out this email you'll see it tomorrow morning. And please check your junk or spam folder if you do not see it come through your main folder. Any questions?
Nope.
Sorry, did someone ask a question there? Just realized audio was.
I think that's it.
All right, guys. So, Mark, you sure you work in tech? Right, just joking. So tomorrow we'll have to register your teams for 9 a.m. So it's up to you guys to join your teams, join the WhatsApp group, and we'll really leave it up to you all day. All right. Sarah, do you have anything else to add?
Yes, sorry, y'all. I'm just having some dinner. Sorry, so that's why my camera's off. No, the matchmaking. Are we going to move into that now?
I don't think we have, I think we've kind of run out of time for it.
Oh, okay. Okay. So they'll form the groups in the morning?
Well, I'm hoping that they will form their groups from now, start communicating.
Okay, they're gonna do it organic. Oh yeah, Josh is gonna yeah, we've got this. Okay, so you all know what. All right, so because there might be some lone wolfers out there who might be shy and not sure. So, just reach out to any, whether it's Mark or Maria Elena, or if you're kind of shy about making, getting in a group and you haven't gotten in one, don't worry, we'll help. Okay, guys?
Okay, I want assistance getting in a group. I don't know how, but yeah, I want assistance to join a group.
All right, cool. So what we will do, here's what we'll do. We'll contact you by latest in the morning, okay? Because you have to, but I just have to talk offline with Mark and Maria Elena. But we'll make sure. So Sanal, anybody else needs help? Okay, so you all will reach out to the different people in the group, right? Everybody's in the WhatsApp group. Everybody saw the link to get in. All right, great. All right, sorry, that's my fork there. I'm not sure if we're ending it. Mark, are we closing off or?
Guys, yep. So we'll call it there. It's been a long day, but a really exciting one. And I'm really excited to hear the ideas and see the ideas come to life over this weekend. If you have any friends that still want to join the hackathon, tell them feel free to send through their registration, because tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. is when the teams will be registered, and we'll lock you guys in for the hackathon. So you guys can ideate, talk about ideas. I'm calling it at 8 p.m. But if you guys do want to still stay on in this Zoom call and have a chat and maybe go out into some breakout rooms, let me know. I can just keep it open. If not, have a great night, you all, and look forward to tomorrow. Thanks.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. This was really good.
Thanks, man.
All right, cheers. Good night, guys.
What's up?
Good night, everyone.
Good night. Good night. Well done, guys. Well done to Z Labs.
Thanks, Shirlan.
No problem.
Appreciate it.
Of course.
Shirlan, from when we unite, guys.
Mastermind kind of all.
Mastermind kind of all.
You guys are doing an awesome job, man. Awesome.
Thanks a lot, man. Thanks a lot.
Inspiring.
How's things going over there?
We're doing fine. We're doing fine. We'll update you guys soon. We're doing good.
Great.
But just to let you guys know, the actual summit is also, we just teamed up